Alright, so for this video I'm going to react to two sparring videos. A very old one and a more recent one from 2019. And this is just to show some of my progress and just to experience the memories once again and share them with you. Anyways, there was a commercial there, so I turned off the sound. And this first sparring video is the second sparring video I ever recorded. And I faced this guy who had trained various martial arts. He trained, that's the old intro. I mentioned capoeira and karate, which he had trained there in the intro, but he had also trained some Krav Maga. And let's get right to it. So this is recorded with an old iPhone several years ago when I just started the channel, I think in 2015 or 2016. And he's in all black. Back then I used to often use this type of guard where the lead hand is low some of the time. Which is actually a good way to mix things up, but my stance and my footwork especially is some of the stuff I notice I've improved upon since. It's a nice high kick, but he counters with a nice spinning kick. Little taekwondo-like type of move to counter like that with a spinning back kick. Also, the way I'm keeping my stance, I won't be able to check any low kicks. And right there he goes for two low kicks and takes me down. And I try to grapple, but I haven't really learned much grappling at that point on my journey. So he's in mount, but we decided to stop and reposition our headgear. So he's actually in a southpaw stance, and I'm using the orthodox stance, so I wasn't mindful of it at the time, but there could be a bit of a footwork battle going with me needing to try and get to the outside of his lead leg. That's a nice combo there. Let me see. So the hook kick, I do a swing or a long hook punch and then move in with the hook kick, and I think it connected. It's difficult to watch from the footage, but I remember that moment actually because that was the one moment I really liked from my own performance there. Then he takes me down, controlling the head and the body follows. That's how he took me down, and you can see his Krav Maga training, I think, like that self-defense mindset of just trying to finish the opponent, where he almost kicks me on the ground where I've lost my headgear, but he stopped just in time and we bowed and shook hands, which is the most important part afterwards. Always showing signs of respect even when something like that happens. as long as you know the opponent isn't trying to injure you or anything, then you should keep calm and not get offended that a mistake was made, if it's just that, a mistake. Now here, this footage is from 2019, so I've made some adjustments to my game, but I still feel this represents a lot of what I can do, both in terms of striking and grappling. And I've left the sound off on this one because it's actually a video with commentary, but I feel it's a very underrated sparring video of mine. It's a bit of a lengthy one. 20 minutes is the original video, but that's including replays and interviews, which we won't be watching this time, but this was a very fun sparring session and also very tiring towards the end. I really like that part. I think I'll just go back and show you again. So let's see the setup. Spinning hook kick, but that wasn't the part I wanted to show. Let's see. Spinning hammer fist, but does it come now? Did I miss it? Yeah, like that angle I get where I'm almost behind him as I deliver the spinning hook kick, but he leans back. But I just really like that setup also with the hook, where I step in with the hook and spin. That's a nice one. My opponent Nicholas, nice spinning elbow and controlled. Not intending to hit me really with that particular technique because it's so dangerous, but excellent execution. And I slipped the punch and a hook kick. That low high spinning kick as well, and here in the clinch he is much better with his Muay Thai training. So Nicholas, if you don't know, has trained both Muay Thai and Jeet Kune Do as well as Meishu Kung Fu. That's how I know him, from where I used to train Meishu Kung Fu, which has a lot of animal styles and stuff, as well as some more center-like sparring as well. But he's also trained Muay Thai, so in the clinch position he has the advantage here. And he switches stance a lot during the sparring session, where I mostly operate from orthodox in this one. The jumping spinning kick completely missing, but it's fun to throw. If you haven't seen it, we actually fought full contact in an MMA amateur fight where unfortunately I got hurt. My orbital bone was swollen afterwards because he landed a perfect side kick, which took me out. But watching this sparring is a lot more playful and a lot more creative. Our fight, there were some cool moments, including that spectacular finish where he landed the side kick and finished me with that. But it's a lot more stressful actually fighting full contact, and it feels like there's a lot less time to react and the adrenaline is higher. So this is a lot more playful and I think a lot more interesting to watch just from the perspective of trying to come up with new stuff and trying to figure out all the different setups, which are they take a lot of experience to apply in an actual fight full contact. Here I'm trying to climb him, and I should have went for a guillotine there, I think, but mind you, if this was a self-defense situation, he could just have slammed me down on the concrete next to the grass or something. So it's risky to try and climb your opponent like that. And I check his kick and land a nice spinning hook kick. Just like if it was a little bit harder, I might have been able to take him down with that. And the hook kick just grazing him. He delivered a lead leg side kick there and another attempt. So this is fun, kind of MMA sparring, and we both have Kung Fu background, so interesting for people who wanna watch some Kung Fu applied. There's a lot of Kung Fu kicks here, like the oblique kick and the crescent kick just moments ago, and that spinning hook kick. But we use a lot of boxing techniques to try and set up the kicks. Of course, you can also do it with the animal style Kung Fu, but you have to be very careful, especially with the snake style, to try and avoid eye pokes. And it's also just a lot easier operating with a high guard, which is more of a static defense rather than Kung Fu animal styles where you'll keep one hand high and the other low and then have to switch between the two like a pendulum. You have to have a higher level of skill, I feel, to be able to defend yourself using that. So I feel most comfortable actually combining boxing with my Kung Fu kicks and grappling, but for sure I'll continue testing the animal style system as well, because I know from experience, and as you may have seen on this channel, that it can actually work. Just not that many people training it in a manner preparing them to use it. So some interesting combos, and here he gets the clinch. If those were real knees, they would definitely hurt. And so I pull him into my guard and control the head. Let's see here. And I'm trying to get him in a triangle choke. And here I made actually two mistakes. I should have tried and grab the hold of his head, but also I should have tried and adjust the angle. So if I could move my body more to the right, then I'd be able to have a much firmer choke. And he slides right out of it, and we get back up. And as you can see in the background, there's a lot of stuff laying around, and prior to this lengthy sparring session, we'd already done a lot of training with Kung Fu weapons and some self-defense training as well. If you've seen the video called Staircase Self-Defense or something like that, it was recorded on this day where we pressure test and try out some scenarios on a staircase. Definitely very what's it called, light contact pressure testing, because we were on a staircase and with concrete everywhere. So, but still, great video for seeing some different scenarios pressure tested to some extent, and also just the analysis of advantages and disadvantages if you're attacked going up or down stairs. So here I slip on the mud, and of course doing fancy stuff like that, high kicks and spinning kicks, it's a little bit risky here on the mud. And I think also I was trying to set up that spinning kick with my punches, but it was almost too clear that my whole body was ready to spin. Mm. A very low punch to the leg actually, and a high kick. And he's using a lot the southpaw stance, and you'll see his fist is in a vertical position rather than horizontal, and that's some of that Jeet Kune Do influence. Now he's in the other stance, in the orthodox, and I believe in the orthodox his fist is actually more horizontal for the most part. He has some Wing Chun inspired, a little bit of chain punching, and a mistimed spinning kick on my part. And so the one thing I notice watching this is like the distance management on my part could definitely be better, also for him. But still, I feel there's a lot of good stuff here, and as I watch it, there's some stuff that gives me some ideas for future sparring opportunities once that becomes possible for me again. So I think right around here, watch how I cut the angle and then kick. That's the second time in this sparring session where I managed to create an angle where where he can't hit me at all, and I deliver a kick he can hardly see. So yeah, he managed to block it also because he's much taller, so I really have to kick above his shoulder to land it. Low side kick to the body. And he's wearing a Zen-Dragon tank top, which you can order on Teespring. There's a link on the Zen-Dragon Facebook page on the bottom where it says buy, but there's also a link in the description actually in this video and all future Zen-Dragon videos for the Teespring store where you can order this tank top. Part of the proceeds go to the Bully Project to aid their fight against bullying, and you can also get a face mask to protect yourself against COVID and protect others as well, with the Zen-Dragon logo, of course. And that's not for charity. That if you choose to buy that, then you're simply supporting me and this channel. Nice combination by Nicholas, a low spinning hook kick and a follow-up kick. Very light contact there. A double side kick, low to the leg and high to the body, the torso rather. Some chain punches. I should have, whenever he does this chain punching thing, it kind of throws me off, but I think I should have tried and pivoted to the side or circled off, because it's a very linear type of attack. So here, a nice takedown, and I try to go for the head and arm choke if I can get my head to the side of his arm, but doesn't happen, and I catch the back. And right here I make the mistake of going for the choke right away rather than secure a seatbelt position, and yeah, I'm way too high. I've since found that if I'm too high on someone's back, I can actually try and go for an armbar, but in this position it would not be possible. Right now there was the opening for an armbar, but he's fighting the choke, and I cross my feet, which could be used against me here if he knows how to do a leg lock counter. I try to isolate an arm with my foot so he can't use it to defend, but he takes advantage of that and rolls around, and he's in the guard doing some punching, and had those punches been with bad intentions, then that would have been a lot more significant. And so that was it. And we were just so tired here because we'd spent the entire day training and recording. Like I mentioned, the self-defense video on the stairs, and we've done some weapon sparring with Guandao versus a pair of Sai. Check out that video as well on this channel. And we've also done some more sparring and other stuff, and this was like a 15-minute sparring session with grappling and striking, so we were exhausted. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.
After years of free content, the time has come where I need a helping hand from some of you. You can support me with $3 each month or 5 or 10 for a few extra benefits. Supporting Zen-Dragon via Patreon will probably make no difference to you financially. If you're living hand to mouth, I don't want your money. Then I'd rather you keep them for yourself. Don't worry, I'll be alright. The donations are in place to help cover equipment and other expenses for the channel. Now that I'm also a father, it's more challenging than ever to find the time to create and share free content. But if enough of you support on Patreon, there will come a day where I can cut down my 9-to-5 job, either partially or altogether, which will make it sustainable to continue creating and sharing free content here on YouTube. Even if that does not happen, I'll still continue sharing, but possibly with longer breaks in between. Thanks for listening. Now visit my Patreon, that's patreon.com/Zen-Dragon. I greatly appreciate you for listening and for continually watching Zen-Dragon.